but we're going to shift a bit from yesterday. And what I would like to do today is talking from a regulatory part and business side. I think everyone here is a business person, involved in different levels. So what I think is interesting is to understand how people like us, business people, are looking at the regulatory part of the blockchain and crypto, and how we take that to our business, bearing in mind that we are a global business. And I think a very important thing is that, first, if you look at the different regulatory bodies, so we are in Dubai at the moment, Middle East. There's different configurations according to the country where you're based, but most of our businesses are operating on a global basis, but we have always to look at the local base as well. And I think one of the interesting things happening right now in terms of crypto is that everyone is at least juggling between different regulatory bodies and trying to make sure that we are going according to the law. Because, for instance, if you look at the big scandals like the Tezos ICO and some others that have been happening, especially in the US. For instance, the US is probably the most hot potato in terms of blockchain crypto, but it's as well one big market. For instance, one question to start. Anyone here accept money from the US? Yeah, only one. Okay, two. But for instance, are you accepting only from accredited investors, I would say, no? Yeah, so that's a very important thing. So I will try to see from the panel here, we have a fantastic panel. So we have Andrew Adcock, that was the previous, Maxim Chernov, that is coming from Moscow, which is interesting as well to see Moscow and Russia and all the areas around. Robert Hackett, and as well Andrew Adcock, which has probably the only ICO, or at least regulated entity, at least in this room. And I've been as well working in banking and finance, so I have kind of some thoughts about that. So I think that's the team that we have here. So I would start with a small presentation about each of you. If you could do the presentation, then I have a couple of questions to start.
Yeah, the microphone did work. Hello to everybody, good morning. I'm Maxim Chernov from Russia, from Moscow. I'm International Secretary of IDACB, which we created with more than 35 countries already, International Decentralized Association of Cryptocurrency and Blockchain. And actually our mission is to create a regulation for cryptocurrency and blockchain in different parts of the world. And we discussed that already in January. We set up altogether more than 30 countries, representatives, which actually association of every country and governmental representative of every country. So like Russia is represented by advisor of Mr. Putin, who's in charge of internet. So what's important, I guess, to discuss today, how the regulation should be created, because if we just do whatever we create in the crypto world, and it's not connected to real world, that there's nothing in it. Thank you.
Completely, very important point. So moving forward,
Sorry, yes.
Small introduction and a bit of how you context to your business regulatory part. Because you mentioned a lot of money and a lot of high-profile organizations.
Well, I think it's relevant now, especially in the charity world, where you can see visibly where the money is abused and the victims from it. So regulation is a huge part of it. However, the flip side to that is that you have to have something to regulate. So regulation should never, ever take away the spirit of entrepreneurship. So if you're creating a brand new, unique value proposition that serves the people in a compelling way that is undeniable, the regulation should not take that away from them. The regulation is there to make sure the product or service works. There are no, there are no fraudulent activities around there. There are no problems with the technology. That's for me what regulation is all about. Regulation is about being the best and keeping the technology improving, keeping the service improving, keeping the product improving. A lot of people are talking about regulation now. The Bank of England recently talked about regulation, Mark Carney, and said we have to sort this Bitcoin thing out. That's literally his paraphrase. We have to sort this Bitcoin thing out, which really tells you that banks have no idea what Bitcoin is still, and they're getting their heads around it. So really, governments are really just trying to tax cryptocurrency. They're just trying to tax it. And in fact, the state of Arizona recently voted whether to accept cryptocurrency to pay the state tax. So these are really good things in the sense of that Bitcoin and other cryptos are becoming widely received as genuine and credible, as a way and a payment method for people to choose. But people are still scared that they're going to last and that they're sustainable. And I think putting a regulation stamp on it kind of gives that person peace of mind, in a way. That's my...
So one question for you before I go to the other one. So you've been doing big ICOs, or at least a lot of money on this. So for instance, on your particular case, because we can talk about the regulators, but we are business people, and I would like to focus on us, because I think we're not regulators, none of us here.
Nope.
So how do you do, for instance, just for the big, like you mentioned, $60 million, $100 million is quite a lot of money. So for instance, how do you make sure that you don't get in trouble? Because I think that's what the audience probably wants.
Well, I think the reason, really, the answer to that question is the blockchain, the technology that you are using, is really the regulatory framework, because I'm pumping my assets on smart contracts into that blockchain, which means that my regulation is transparent. Those businesses are already existing. I've got restaurants all over the world that bring money in. So I'm not putting in a phantom product that might or might not work. The difference with me is I've already got 10 years, probably 15 years of hard work going into developing traditional businesses. Some of them have regulations, some of them don't need it. But in terms of quality control, that's already there.